but we're now here. We haven't really heard this for many months about Arsenal, but now Arsenal are still in their process. They're still in their process.
Nothing's wrong with that.
I'm not
I
saying
disagree. I disagree.
You disagree with that, Colleen? Why do you disagree that Arsenal are in their process?
I've never even liked the term. I hate it. I hate
it's
it.
Such a useless term.
Every time I hate it. I'm not saying it's like just because you know your team can get better, you're perpetually in a process.
You're accepting failure. That's what I see.
I'm not saying
that's not true.
Arsenal can still get better, but that doesn't mean they're still in the middle of a process. I think it's been 3 years now. I think we can see the strategy that Arteta's coming with. I think it's very clear his identity and how he wants to play. You can probably even pick a handful of players that you would know that Edu and him would go for the squad. I think the squad can improve, but I don't think we're still in the middle of a process, because are we only ever in a process till we win the league?
Don't confuse process with rebuild. Don't confuse process with rebuild.
What about transition and all these words?
Transition, all these words. At the end of the day, I'll tell you what it means to me.
No, I think the process is finished once you get to a point where at the start of the season, it's like, all right, this team
you're ready. Once you're ready to win now,
it's not finished until you cross the line.
No.
Until you actually are successful, you're not finished.
Of course, you've not finished. The point I'm making is the process you're looking at is building a team to then go and then compete. That's where Arsenal will be looking at to be at the end of the season. You're looking to add to your squad, and you're looking to look at your squad and go, all right, this team is good enough to win the league. Yes, you have overachieved this season. I give you that credit for that. But
this is where I kind of am different to what you're saying. I don't think the process is to lead you to what do you call it? Just challenging. I think the process is like steps to success. And once you gain that success, you can say now the process is done, and now we need to sustain what we have going forward. Then you're implementing a new situation where you've reached the pinnacle. Until you reach the pinnacle, you can say these are the steps and the process.
But what's the pinnacle? Because the pinnacle changes.
I just want to come in for a second. I get where you're coming from, Miguel, and I get what everyone's saying. I also know what Roy is saying is true, and it's because this is the problem. And I don't want to plagiarize here. This is a great summary of it from Dexter, who says footy chats have gone from talking about trophies and eras to flaunting projects and processes is embarrassing. And this is exactly what I said. I made this clip earlier and I put it out, and I kind of say it again. City are going to buy this summer to improve their team. It's a process. Every summer, the best teams go through a process of maintaining their quality or looking to improve further. Every team is always in a process. However, I still think there are a percentage of Gooners, maybe only a small percentage, that want to use the word process as a shield to block Arteta from being judged on the only thing a manager at Arsenal after 3.5 years with £300 or £400 million spent should be judged on, and that is, what are you winning for us? Now, not winning a trophy in an individual season doesn't equate to get rid of him and sack him. You've got to put context in. But I even look at Man United. If we get new owners and spend well this summer, I am now judging Erik ten Hag after a year on what do you win us and how do you progress us in terms of title races. So I don't even think you're not saying that, Igal, but there's almost like this. There's a lot of Gooners on the edge. It's like, we're still in our process and we haven't quite result yet. But my question is surely you've got to be judging Arteta now from this season moving forward on what he wins you, Igal, and not just, but we haven't completed the process yet, so he shouldn't be.
Igal, can I just say something quick there? Because you would have heard this.
I disagree. I agree with you there fully.
At one point this season, people started to say, to be fair, do you feel that City's performances are because they're going through transition? Yeah? and straight away, I said, I'm not hearing that word. Transition, for me is an excuse, right? Yes, we have gone and bought a striker. You can't be defending 2 Premier Leagues and say you're in transition. And Terry's spot on. When we were buying David Silva and Yaya Toure, right? And people were saying, "Oh, that's too much money," and we hadn't won any trophies at that point, or we had, but in our history, we hadn't won in this era any trophies, I did not hear one single person say, "Oh, but it's all part of the process." And Terry, I'm sorry, but you're spot on with that. It's even now with the big club conversation, and City fans watching this, stop arguing. If anyone says we're a bigger club than you, stop trying to argue, right? It was never a conversation when I was a kid. It was about the trophies you won, right? All of these little things are excuses to basically I'm sorry, the bigger clubs are using to cover their backs. Yeah,
and that's you're bang on.
Exactly
This is what it comes down to. Is because everything's polarized. It's if you don't win, you should sack. If you back a manager that hasn't won a trophy, it's like that's terrible standards because everything's so extreme. What's been created by football fans are these shields and excuses as to why they don't need to be polarized just yet. And there is a balance in the middle of everything. And it was only 2 or 3 weeks ago on this show, we were talking about our Arsenal, one of the best teams in the world right now. Suddenly now it's, but we haven't finished that process yet, so we shouldn't be judged like everybody else.
I don't agree with that.
And I know you don't agree with that, but the way people word it, and for me, you should be judging Arteta from this season moving forward purely on the trophies that he's winning you. I think all managers should be given time if they take over a mess. Ten Hag took over a mess, so you give him a little bit of time to build his squad, a few summers, but you want to see progression the whole time. I don't think you should just like Eddie Howe has done at Newcastle. You can see the success and the growth there as an example. Taking over a club that's been in the doldrums for years, but you should still see progression year 1, year 2.
You know what the next step is, Terry?
Year that goes along, you get you raise the standards or your expectations are higher, but you're still judging them based on what they have won. And once you're 3, 4, 5 years in, your club spent £500 million. It's either you're winning or you're not winning. That's it. That's it. Fair now. Enough. Fans have got to step away from these shields and protecting their managers and just speak fucking honestly. You don't need to be polarized, but you can be honest. We've got to get back to that as football fans. It's because I love this industry that you know, some people before me, and I've been very much involved in helping to build. It's dying because of polarization and nonsense. We need to be able to turn around and say, I'm fucking pissed off with my manager today, but I don't want him sacked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You're so right. You can't.
That's what I get from Terry. Igal, you have to remember.
This is the problem.
Igal, just quick, because I know you're going to go on a rant now, and I promise you, I'll mute my mic after this. We know that Terry backs Arteta. What I just heard from Terry is not Terry saying sack Arteta. He's just saying judge him, and I agree that ultimately to sack him now would be mental. You are like you're improving, right? Next season, if you finish third and don't compete in any trophies, that is a conversation. For me right now, while you are still in the title race, let's be clear. Listen, Pep said it today. We have 4 tough away games. If we start focusing on Madrid, we won't win this league, yeah? We have to focus on Fulham at the weekend. Then after that, we have to focus on West Ham. Then we have to focus on Leeds. And all Terry's saying there is, and I think Terry agrees with you a lot of the times, Igal. He's actually saying, don't sack Arteta, but at the same time, you have to be ready to judge him that he hasn't won you a trophy this season.
Do you know the final bit?
I just wanted to give the other side of yours, Terry. Don't be. You can criticize and you can be upset, even though you fully back the team. But also, there's the other end of the spectrum that pisses me off. Going all the way out, saying get him out, sack him today after we lost to Man City when we're still in the title race. Basically raising the club standards by getting us up to this level, improving the squad, and forgetting the fact that he's helping us get to this process.
And I understand that, Igal, but I can't speak for
that is the word. That is why the word process is being spoken about.
I understand that, but you've also got to respect the people who give that opinion that don't think he's ever going to get you to where you think he is. So
fair enough.
For someone that doesn't believe in it, there's no amount of convincing. And the fact that for some Arsenal fans, they'll look at it and go, 2 seasons running, we're in prime position for top 4, then prime position for a title, and we fell away. For some people, that's enough evidence to say, I don't think he'll get us over the line. So I respect all the opinions. It's just what we've got to get away from. And I'm not blaming Arsenal fans for this. All fan bases do it. Dom Hussam and me got into a row on Twitter the other day because he was annoyed that I was using the actual and only definition for the word overachieve, which is to achieve more than what was expected. And rival fans can't accept the fact that this season Man United have overachieved based on the
overachieved.
Of course.
It's because they're hating. That's why they don't want to accept that we've had a good season.
When people are hating or they're angry about reality, and this is societal now, they argue semantics. As soon as somebody starts to argue semantics, they've lost the argument. No, that isn't my definition of the word failure. You don't get to redefine words.